Now, if your tyre pressure warning light has come on because the sensor in your vehicle has picked up that your tyre pressure is a bit out, or maybe your vehicle is handling differently and you're wondering if the tyre pressure could be to blame, then don't worry, because this is a really easy problem to fix that you can sort out yourself. Now, one thing worth knowing before we get into this is the weather can actually affect your tyre pressure. So if there's a sudden drop in temperature, a drop of about 10 degrees can actually make your tyre pressure go down by 1 psi, which means that suddenly, if your tyre pressure was a little low anyway, that might tip it over into that zone where it is too low and your warning lights come on. So whenever it's cold weather, it's always good to check your tyre pressure. And actually, if you're in the business of checking your tyre pressure, always do it when your vehicle is cold. So don't do it at the end of a long journey when your tyres have warmed up. Do it at the start when they're cold anyway. First of all, it's a good idea to have a look around your vehicle. Just check all your tyres by sight and check you haven't got anything really serious like a puncture. Usually that will just affect one tyre rather than all your tyres, of course. After that, you then need to know what pressure your tyres are currently at. Now, some newer vehicles, like this one, can tell you that themselves. They've got sensors inside, they communicate with the tyres, and they can tell you exactly where they're at the moment, and hence they can give you that warning light as well. I'll show you how we do that, but you don't have to be able to do this, so don't panic if your car doesn't have this system. So every car will vary, of course, but on this car, it is under information and tyre pressures, and then that gives me real-time information about the current pressure of my tyres. So quite handy to know, but like I say, you don't have to do it this way. So the great thing here is that it's telling me that mine are low, and it also gives me on this screen the recommended level that they should be at, so I don't need to look any further. So not all cars will be able to tell you digitally what pressure your car should be at, but the information will be in your car somewhere. Most cars it's within the space of the door somewhere. So we've also got it here in this car, down here. Looks more complicated than it is. It's actually the kPa, the bar and the PSI, they're your readings, and they'll tell you what pressure each tyre should be at. Now, it depends which country you're in, which is relevant to you. So in the UK, it's PSI, which is pounds per square inch, I think. And that gives you these numbers here, and that's telling you what each tyre should be at. It's also telling you that that's going to be a different pressure if you've got a couple of people in the car, or if you've got a full load and you're off on holiday with suitcases piled high, then actually the pressure is going to be different and you'll need them to have a bit more air in them. So you can consult that, and that will give you the information that you need to know. Also here you've got your front and your rear, which is your front and your back tyres, and you've got different tyre sizes, so you want to check those. That gives you a bit more info as well. So where do you find your tyre sizes? Well, on the tyre. This front tyre here, for example, is a 255 and a 50 and an R20, so 20 inch that is. There, 255 front, and it's R20. So if we follow that line along, we can then look for a light load, that should be 34, and for a heavier load, we're looking at 43. So now let's go to the petrol station, the gas station, whatever you call it in your part of the world, and let's get these tyres pumped up to where they need to be. So the next stage of actually pumping up our tyres is fairly straightforward, but there is one thing that a lot of people get wrong. A lot of the air systems for pumping up your tyres are on a timed system, so they go and pay, and then after that they remove their dust caps ready to pump up their tyres. But that means that the clock is actually ticking, and sometimes you run out of time before you've pumped up all your tyres and you have to go and pay again. So top tip is to remove all those dust caps first, then go and pay, and then once you're on the clock, you're ready to go. A handy little step-by-step guide, and it's saying to do exactly what we discussed earlier, which is remove your dust caps first. Then we need to set this to the pressure that we need, which we worked out earlier is 34. So we're just going to set that there. Then we're going to pay. Then we're going to start, connect the nozzle to the tyre. Okay, let's go. will hear a little hiss when you first connect it. Don't be disconcerted, it then kicks in and starts to pump it up. So it's £1.50 to fill up on tyres in the UK. I'd be interested to know how much it costs in your part of the world. So if you filled your tyres up recently, let me know in the comments down below. So now the moment of truth. Has that warning light turned off? Let's find out. Tyre pressure monitoring set for light load. And we're good to go. But just so we don't leave anything to chance, let's double check by going into the menu and checking So I've just checked and we are now 34 pressure all the way around, so we're good to go. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. See you soon.